Good evening. We'd like to welcome you to our Elmore County Commission work session dated Monday, October 26, 2020. And we'll call this meeting to order. I'd like to extend a special welcome to all of our visitors today. We appreciate you being here. We'd like to recognize our elected officials with us today. We have our Elmore County Board of Education Superintendent Richard Dennis. We appreciate you being with us today, and we extend a warm welcome to everyone else who's visiting with us. We will begin with our regular business, a review of the minutes of the October 13, 2020 Commission meeting as amended. Are there any comments or questions?
Mr. Chairman, the amendment relates to the memorandum of warrants and the proper date being placed in there.
Thank you. Hearing none, we'll move forward with the review of the memorandum of warrants for the period of October 3, 2020 through October 19, 2020. Any comments or questions?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, the memorandum of warrants is $1,101,837.84. All
right, thank you. All right, we'll proceed now with our new business. We would like to add one additional individual to our new business to come to the podium. We'd like to invite Chief Tommy Sanford from the Santuc Volunteer Fire Department. He made a request to come and speak today for just a couple minutes, so we'd like to invite him to the podium.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate it. Chairman Stubbs, Commissioner Holt, Commissioner Daughtry, Commissioner Mercer, Commissioner Reed. Santuc Volunteer Fire Department very much appreciates all the assistance that this commission has given all the volunteer fire departments in the county. It's been so much better the last few years, and I really appreciate what y'all done. I know we got a couple that's going to be leaving us, and we're going to miss y'all. Thank you for all the time and efforts that you've given the county. Y'all have provided the workers' comp insurance for us, communication equipment, other equipment that's enabled Santuc Fire Department to more quickly and safely respond to emergency calls in our community, while working hard to keep our ISO rating low to save our residents money on their homeowners insurance. During one of the most recent storms, in about an 8-hour period, we were paged out 10 times. Calls to service streets, blocking roadways, and on houses. Yes, Mr. Kenny, we used that big chainsaw that y'all helped us to purchase. It was very beneficial for that night. And we may need it again Wednesday night and Thursday. I hope not. We don't just respond to structure fires. This morning we responded to assist Haynes ambulance with a person that his tractor had run over. So y'all keep that family in your prayers. So many thanks also to Richie. He's helped us on many occasions. To all the commissioners for the assistance that they've given the volunteer fire department in Elmore County. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We appreciate you being here today, and we sincerely appreciate all that you do as an individual and your dedication, but all of the volunteers throughout not only the Santuc Volunteer Fire Department, but all of them. So thank you. And I know that you have a board meeting to get to in preparation for the storms coming up, so thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Tommy, before you leave, I have a question. How long have you been affiliated with the Santuc Fire Department? Thank you. That's why I brought it up. You've been a shining example of community service.
Tommy, Commissioner Daughtry and I didn't talk about this, but that's exactly what I was going to ask. A lot of people don't know how long you've been involved with this, the fire service in the county, and I want to say how much I appreciate what you do. I know the other chiefs, other departments really look to you for guidance, and that's because you've earned their respect, and I really appreciate what you've done for the county and for your fire department specifically, and because without our volunteer fire departments, we would be in bad shape in a lot of areas of our county, because you know, as you and I have discussed before, when you call 911 and dispatch does not know who else to call, they call the volunteer fire department, and we appreciate that for you always being there.
unlike my fellow commissioners, 49 years is longer than I've been alive, so, so congratulations on that.
It's called wisdom.
Thank you. As Commissioner Daughtry noted, I'm surrounded by wisdom, so I appreciate it. We are delighted today to have several visitors with us to speak to the County Commission. We'd first like to invite Ms. Tay Knight from the Family Sunshine Center. This is the Domestic Violence Awareness Month resolution that we will be signing today, and we'd love to hear from her, not only about this particular Awareness Month, but also the activities going on at the Family Sunshine Center. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate the opportunity to participate in this, and I think that what you said is most important, which is that we each have a civic and just a human responsibility to recognize and acknowledge circumstances like this and do all that we can to support and sustain those who are suffering in some capacity. We, as you mentioned, will be signing a proclamation declaring Domestic Violence Awareness Month in Elmore County. We appreciate all that you do and your staff. I know that we would like to get a picture together, socially distanced, here in just a minute. My fellow commissioners have any comments or questions?
Hey, I appreciate what you do. I appreciate what your staff does. I know we see some statistics from your organization on who they serve and at various times, and you know they're bad people that do bad things that live in our county and around us. And if there were not organizations such as yours, these people wouldn't get any help. And so I really appreciate what you do. I think this is one of the organizations that when we see it show up on the budget, that we always know that money is being invested in our community very well, because you keep us informed of what's going on, and we appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you.
I'd like to say thank you for opening up in Wetumpka.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
All right, well, thank you very much. If you'd like to have your staff come and join us for a photo. y'all just wanna, we can go no mask, just line up there, and we'll be separated apart for you. Or as you prefer regarding. Get everybody?
I can move over. Y'all need to come over? Okay.
You got one more after this.
Alright. Thank y'all very much. Thank you. All right, our next item of new business, we'd like to invite Elmore County Board of Education Superintendent Richard Dennis to come forward to provide us with an update on our school system.
Appreciate the opportunity to be here this evening. As you know, we have been in school for quite some time. I know that recently was attending 2 weeks ago, as a matter of fact, the state superintendent's meeting, and there were schools that were preparing to open this week and next week for the very first time. We can step back and shuffle a little bit. We're on week 12, and to follow through, give you an update on that for us, our enrollment, we established for October 5th, that's our funding period, 20 days after Labor Day. We finished, showed an increase of approximately 22 students, so we finished with 11,213. That is an increase, and that's given that we had a number of about 94 kindergarten students that we felt like we would have had if they had not been facing a COVID season. We had a lot of people obviously keep their kindergarten children home, so that's something that a lot of schools or systems are preparing for in the future because they expect those students to return in the coming year, and so we are addressing that with the state and funding standpoint. Where finances are concerned, first of all, I will just on behalf of the school board say that we've been very fortunate. I know that we tightened everything down in March in preparation for what we thought might be a loss of revenue. Elmore County has gone full speed ahead, and our revenues are very positive in supporting our school system, as you're aware. And so we have a very positive, seeing the taxes coming in on our side are very strong. But in addition to that, the federal funding that we're receiving, we're maximizing it at this point in time, and I've actually volunteered to spend other school systems' money if they're unable to spend it. It's a great effort to do just that. And from the standpoint of COVID, just to give you an idea, we've been tracking the numbers since August 4th when we first brought our employees back. Got a total of 53 employees that tested positive as of say today, and 124 students that tested positive for COVID. At this point, we only had 2 employees, matter of fact, in the summer, that actually were hospitalized. We had more people who had spouses, family members that actually were hospitalized. But at this point, I think we've only had 2 employees that were hospitalized, and to my knowledge, no students. What we've seen on the student front is limited symptoms in most cases, some few running high fevers. For the most part, we're hoping, to, we're not providing data to them, but I know that they're gonna collect it and follow CDC guidelines. Information to show that if you're wearing a mask and you're within the 6 feet of a person who tests positive for more than 15 minutes and you're wearing a mask. To my knowledge, from our students, we've only had 2 cases out of hundreds, literally hundreds, that we've sent home that potentially would have tested positive from that contact. So, it's something that is impacting our school. I would tell you, I think it's gonna be something, the virtual, format, there's some real positive aspects to it. And just to give you a number, right now, we set today as a deadline to make the transition one way or the other to help scheduling. If we'll actually go back into some of the high schools, specifically in middle school, as necessary to reschedule based on the numbers that came back. We've got about 1,000 that have returned. Right now, there's just over 2,800 students that are left on virtual that are typically part of the traditional face-to-face school. So the issue that I will tell you that I've expressed to my board is that we're seeing it's the support that some of the virtual students, what we refer to as a school-based virtual, they are lacking the support at home in many cases, and it is impacting them. We're working to develop what we're able to do to better assist them while they're facing these circumstances. But in many cases, as much as possible, we're encouraging many of them as possible to come back to school face-to-face or again support with tutoring that we're going to make or making available to them. As far as construction, just a real quick one on construction. We are continuing, as you're aware, the foundation being put in, not foundation, but the groundwork is nearing completion at the Redland site. We're working our way across the county. At the Career Tech Center, same thing being done. The dirt work is being finished up and should be finished shortly. So it's for the new Career Tech Center. Elmore County, we've gotten way behind on it. Hopefully it's going to be finished within the second week of November. And the new entrance area, they're breaking it as we speak. So I know Mr. Rogers up there, so we decided to get back to his office. Hopeful High School, if you've not seen it, you're really not going to notice it if you're driving by, but it's a historic landmark. We are doing an enclosed foyer with storefront glass on it so that we have a front entrance where all visitors, we're trying to create control instances. We'll have a buzzing door now on what used to be if you're facing it. You've got the 2 wings on the left and right. You'll enter through the center through a control checkpoint with the attendant person working there. And we'll continue to work on perimeter fencing like we've done in the other schools. Also at Hopewell High School, you have a between the baseball and softball field. If you don't drive down there and look at it, you might see it, but you'll see a dressing room that will be supporting the softball and baseball team down there, and so that's going to be a real plus for us there. And in Stanhope, they're actually got the roof on it. I think they're finishing it up. It's dry in and we're starting to brick it. Stanhope Elmore, they're actually starting the foundation on the new band room and full music room there. I checked it out Friday night, saw it, so it's moving along. And so we're excited about all of those projects. We'll have some new projects that we will begin to process and make public in the coming months. And I think we're really trying to plan, and when we do, I do work through the county. I'll be in contact with you and/or through fire to communicate that information. I thank Kim and your help in projects that we're working on jointly. But we're going to continue to do that as we make plans for Elmore County, so that you're aware of what our goals are. We're actually waiting to kind of see. We're expecting some significant growth to occur on the west side. We're really seeing it in the Hopewell community now, and so there are real significant plans being made to address that in the next 5 years. There's got to be some real plans made there because that facility is older. There's been multiple additions made to it, so it's going to take a little more time and effort to correct that previous meeting, I was at a meeting, and there were only 3 school systems in the state that were receiving assistance from the county commission, and, from SSUP funds, or and two actually 3, and I said, well, no, 2 of them in Elmore County. And the other one in Madison County, maybe somewhere there, I can know one of the guys up there. And so, I just want to thank you because, I know the report is here, and you've obviously seen it, and we kind of worked an agreement earlier this, past year on what we would do and how we want to be a part of Elmore County's team playing, I think it's evident when you go to meetings. I have people come up and talk to me after meetings and say, wow, Elmore County is actually working all on the same page, working together to accomplish those goals. And, I mean, this is just this is further evidence of that. This is substantially significant for public schools in Elmore County. And I express all the time that when we look at per pupil expenditures, we're one, generally 3 or, we've moved up a little bit, we're not next to last, we're like 3rd or 4th from the bottom on per pupil expenditures. So everything needs, is significant for us, and this is certainly significant as we continue to try to plan, for the future to make sure that we have not only the programs or the facilities, but the personnel put in place to support all of those programs. So, thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. I'd just like to mention, and I think that we all appreciate the report on what's going on in Elmore County. And first, I'd like to highlight the comments you made regarding COVID and the impact on Elmore County and our school system. I think for those of you who do not have children in the school system right now, I think, as you can imagine, communication is vital in circumstances like this. Many parents are always wondering, well, what's going on at the school? How many people have been infected? And then, you know, you can go to various sources. I won't call them out, social media, and people are making all kinds of absurd comments. But I have children in the school system. I receive a phone call every Friday afternoon for the last 12 weeks, not from a robot, but from the Elmore County Board of Education superintendent, a recorded call that usually I send it to my voicemail. I apologize. But it's about a 3-minute long voicemail, and it tells me everything that's happening in the schools. It tells me how many students have been infected that week, how many teachers or faculty members have been infected that week. And then that whole phone call is transcribed and put on social media for everyone to read it, even if you don't have children in the school system. So I think that you're doing a tremendous job of making an effort to communicate those things and make sure that people are aware of what's going on. So that's the first thing I'd like to mention. And then the second, you touched on simplified seller use tax. And just for those of you who are here with us today, we projected in 2020 that our simplified seller use tax for Elmore County, which this is the online sales tax that's been instituted in the state of Alabama just under 5 years ago, we projected to receive $750,000 for the county, of which we committed to give 25% of that to our school systems, which was projected to be $187,500. We received $1.271 million last year, so over $500,000 more than we projected, which in turn provided the school system with over $300,000 last year in the fiscal year. And we conservatively have made estimates this year, but we're seeing a tremendous growth there. And we have also committed on a per student basis, a portion of that 25% goes to the Tallahassee Board of Education, reflective of the students that reside in Elmore County that attend the Tallahassee City Schools. So we are delighted that we can participate in that, and we would only do that in the event that we knew that our school system was working in a fashion that it is. And so we commend you for that and your board for all that you do. So thank you. So when you hear that, you send it to your voicemail and listen to it when you have time. It's just That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we will move forward now. We've got a couple of representatives from the Liberty Learning Foundation for a program update. For those of you not familiar, this program has been participating in the Elmore County schools for the last couple of years, and we have Angie Sparks and Becky Sanders here with us today to provide us an update.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's not on. It's not on.
All right. Thank you very much. I had the opportunity to attend a live event, I think 2 years ago, and then this year, my son is in second grade at Wetumpka Elementary, and about 6 weeks ago, he came home and told me that Statue of Liberty is 305 feet tall, and he gave me all of the statistics surrounding the Statue of Liberty, and or Lady Liberty, or Libby Liberty, the nickname, and they provided a lot of resources for the teachers, I think, which is vital in this day and age with the environment that we're in, providing those teachers with those resources. So thank you very much. Any?
I just want to thank you, particularly as a veteran, for what you're doing to teach our kids about what you said, the most important thing, the privilege and the responsibility to be a citizen of this country. And you're making y'all are making a lasting impression on these kids, and we can't thank you enough.
All right. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. We will proceed now to discuss authorizing chairman to execute master MOU and land use agreement for the Fields at 17 Springs project. Mr. Bauer, I'll let you address this, and then Mr. Courtney, if he has anything to add.
Mr. Chairman, and Commissioners, these two documents are 2 of 3 governing documents for the 17 Springs project. We have worked, the county attorney, myself, Mayor of Millbrook, and their council have worked diligently with all the parties involved. And we are asking tonight for the chairman to be allowed to execute these 2 documents at the same time. The city, ACETA, the YMCA, and the Board of Education are all doing the same considerations this week. So plan is to have all these executed by the end of the week, and then we'll be going on to the next phase of the project, which will be the interviews with some architectural firms and executing design contracts. So everything in these agreements are the same principles that we've talked about for the last several months as we've been through the process of acquiring property and getting ready for the construction on the first few phases of the project.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Courtney, I understand you've been participating in all these conversations and you're comfortable with these agreements?
That's correct. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions?
Yeah, Chairman, these documents here represent a lot of work that's gone into this partnership to this point, and I believe they all will serve to allow the partnership to be operated in an equitable fashion. So the assets that are involved will best serve the citizens in our county. And I just want to say a special thank you to Mr. Bauer and recognize him for all the work he's done in putting all this together. Like I had said, this represents a lot of work, a lot of conversation with all the partners involved, and I appreciate everything that he's done to get us to this point.
Thank you, sir. And the county attorney shared in that effort and work, so Jeff is owed a lot of credit as well to go through everything.
Thank you. All right, we'll proceed now. Consider 3 appointments to the Elmore County EMS Board. Appointments due November 23, 2020. We have 4 listed candidates: Lois Pribulik, Steve Dennis, Eric Jones, Christopher B. Colley. Are there any additional candidates to be listed? All right, this begins our 30-day clock for that, so we will continue to consider those names and any other candidates that submit for consideration. Next item on the agenda, consider one appointment to the Elmore County Department of Human Resources Board. Appointment due also November 23rd, 2020. Current candidate listed is Laura Peters. I don't know of any additional candidates to be listed. We'll consider those over the next 30 days. Next item, discuss setting a public hearing on Wednesday, November 11, 2020 at 10 a.m. for a 011-Lounge Retail Liquor Class II Package Alcohol License application by SAI Path, Inc. for Lions Pride Spirit and Wine at 17049 U.S. Highway 231, Titus, Alabama 36080. Any comments or questions?
Mr. Chairman, just a special note, this is the date that y'all will be sworn in as new commissioners or returning commissioners, so we will have that as one of your short agenda items.
Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda, consent docket, approved memorandum of travel, approved family leave request for Kristen Cully, dispatcher. Personnel notifications, notification of resignation of Joel Adam Graham, Chief Mapper, GIS Coordinator, effective 10/3/2020. Notification of termination of Camera Templin, Corrections Officer, effective 10/19/2020. Notification of retirement of Robert Moncrief, Captain, effective 10/30/2020. Notification of hire of Donnie Ruiz, Deputy, fill vacant slot, effective 10/24/2020. Notification of resignation of Ann Margaret Tross, Dispatch Supervisor, effective 10/30/2020. We'll now proceed with reports to the Commission. We'll begin with Mr. Byer.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, as you mentioned earlier, Mr. Chairman, tonight marks the last meeting for Commissioner Holt and Commissioner Reeves. A little over a month ago, we had a special recognition for Commissioner Reeves with his Tenure in Office Award, and we talked a lot about the accomplishments of Commissioner Reed while he's been on this commission. Tonight I wanted to make a special presentation from some of the employees for really three things that kind of highlighted the last 4 years and the work that these two gentlemen have done with y'all on the commission. First, which is a little bit harder to put in a tangible thing, is the rewrite of the personnel policy and the way that y'all took that approach and then established, you know, really and truly the county's first true merit system. And I know Commissioner Reeves worked on that for a large majority of his time as a commissioner in terms of dealing with personnel issues, but both of y'all played a valuable role in that, and that will be felt long after this term in office. The second is Rebuild Alabama. Y'all have been an integral part with the commission in terms of helping the state association and other local governments and the state get the Rebuild Alabama program in place, get that legislation passed. I know the governor and legislatures can take credit for getting it passed, but if they weren't hearing from the commissioners back home about the needs and the life cycles that we were actually operating on versus the DOTs, we wouldn't have had the momentum to get that done, and you two played a pivotal role in that with this commission. And then the last is the broadband expansion and the work that y'all have done. We were actually, Commissioner Mercer and Chairman Stubbs and I were at a press conference Friday, and the Elmore County Commission was specifically called out by CEO Tom Stackhouse of Central Alabama Electric about the work that this commission has done and the foresight that the commission had in terms of getting that going, and specifically the Wi-Fi hotspots and the way that that was put out in public quickly when the Board of Education had the need at the beginning of COVID. So we've got a couple things for y'all to kind of commemorate that. The first is a signed Rebuild Alabama sign from the Highway Department employees, the employees that y'all have supported over your tenure, and Commissioner Holt, the employees that you've acted as the liaison to the commission and supporting them and getting resources for them. And then on the back side is the actual sign that goes out at all the Wi-Fi hotspots. So we put those together for y'all as something to commemorate and have as a little token of appreciation. And then I have a special note for y'all that I'd like to present to you as well for y'all to read once you get home tonight, and it's from me. Mr. Chairman, that's all I have in the way of comments. Thank you.
We appreciate that, Richie, and we appreciate you having some words to commemorate their committed and dedicated service to the Elmore County Commission and the citizens of Elmore County. As you mentioned, in mid-September we had a special presentation for Commissioner Reeves, and we appreciate his dedicated service not only for the last for this term, but for many, many years prior to on the County Commission and in other capacities in Elmore County. And we have a resolution signed by the Commissioners commemorating the service by Commissioner Kenny Holt. So we will be presenting him with that here shortly, and we'll have an opportunity maybe during the break to take some pictures together to commemorate his dedicated service. As Mr. Byer mentioned, in the beginning of our term as commissioners, we made the decision to identify commissioners as liaisons with respect to different responsibilities within the county. I thought that that would be an efficient way for us to operate and allow us to communicate regularly and consistently, but with a purpose, instead of everybody scrambling around all the time trying to talk to each other. And so with that, we made the decision for various commissioners to serve in different capacities. And as was mentioned, Commissioner Reeves worked with our administrative side, specifically with our employees, and his expertise and experience in personnel matters. And Commissioner Holt took what I would consider the most challenging responsibility, which was to work with the roads and bridges and the highway department. Not because it's a challenge to work with our employees, but that is one of the most visible areas of our responsibilities as county commissioners. And so that is a great responsibility and burden in many cases because of the expectations placed on our highway department by the citizens. In many cases, looking for an immediate response, which we make every effort to do, but as you all know, in some cases that's just not something that can feasibly be done. So Commissioner Holt took that responsibility, and over the entire 4 years, I kept waiting for him to tell me that he wanted somebody else to do it, but he never did, and he was very dedicated and committed to that. So we do have this resolution, and we'll take a picture during the break, but I'll now turn the time over to my fellow commissioners for reports to the commission. We'll begin with Commissioner Daughtry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, each of you, for coming tonight. And I just want to personally thank Commissioner Holt, Commissioner Reeves for their dedicated service to the county, and it's been an honor to serve with you on this commission. I thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Mercer.
Thank you, Chairman. Commissioner Reeves, Commissioner Holt, I want to say how much I appreciate your willingness to serve the commission. I appreciate the guidance you've given me. The many times we've talked about various issues and debated things that you know that resulted in what I think were many very good decisions that we made as a group in this commission. And You know, I was good friends with y'all before we started this. In fact, don't need to remind you, y'all were friends with my dad, still are friends with my father when y'all were children. I appreciate that friendship. I'm gonna continue to be friends with you, and again, I just want to tell you how much I have appreciated what you have done for me, and thank you for your service to the county.
Thank you.
Don't tell
Mr. Holt?
everybody how old we are. But I'd just like to say it's been a pleasure, and I think I mentioned Richie earlier, there's been a lot of things accomplished, and it's been an honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Reeves?
Yes, since this is my last meeting, I think I will have something to say this time. But, you know, I look back over the time of being on the county commission, and when I came on, I said I was for progressive leadership. I remember the old sign I had, but you know, I had to fight for a lot of things, and sometimes I went against the grain. Where some commissioner wanted to go one way, and I ain't see it going that way. I remember when when I first came on, that's when they first went to 5th district, and I always stayed in the red. I got equipment that was handed down, and I had a couple commissioners. I ain't gonna call no name, but I had a couple commissioners that would help me out, and we had landowners that wouldn't give the county right of way to do roads. School buses was getting stuck in the middle of the road in my district, and we fight for all that. And one of the biggest changes that I think I made some of the commissioners upset with me, was when we went to the unit system. And they fought that for a long time, and the people of Elmo County came out and supported me. And they said, we don't understand what Commissioner Reeves talking about a unit system, but whatever it will, if it'll change stuff and we stop putting stuff on the sheriff department, blaming everybody else, we want to try. And so we was having a meeting in here, and we moved in a little courtroom out there where the people couldn't come in, you know, where it'd be such a big crowd. And so finally the election came out, and we elected some new commissioners. They ran on the unit system, and we got the unit system. And then when we got that, we had to govern that system with a good engineer. So we hired one, and I think I was the one, he played politics with it. But and he didn't know that you have to, just like I work with each one of y'all, and I talk to you and say, look, this is our plan, here's how it's gonna work. And so this guy played politics, so and I made a motion to terminate him, and all the commissioners went along with it. So then I had to go out and search for a good commissioner. Engineer. And we went down, and I said, that's where that county was weak, Chambers County. And I remember the Henry Hawkins, and we talked to Richard. He was a young engineer working under him. So I said, well, he seemed to be, he a young man, he can move as the county go. So we got together, and we had a couple of commissions that didn't want no change, but we hired Richie. He came on board, and this county had moved forward. And I seen it when they, you know, we fight changes, but changes come. Could you imagine us still having the courthouse, and they said they call that a Tarzan Mahal up there, it's judicial complex, and I caught some heat about that. Then we had a group called Concerned Landowners, when I was the chairman, they had a bunch of problems. I could see what they were saying, and I said, I think Mr. Porter right there, he was the chairman, and I said, well, let's sit down to the table and discuss. I can see what we can give you and see what you want. We discussed it, and we brought it back to the commission, and we agreed on it, and after the end, they gave me an award for bringing all that out. So, and then I got another award for the Citizen for Good Government. So, and down at the Association of County Commission, I was on the legislative committee, and I knew Jack Venable. He used to Speaker of the House, and Jim Pruitt was the Senate Pro Tem. So both of them was my friends. So when the association needed some bills, we got them passed, you know. And I can sit here and talk all day, but anyway, like I said, this county has come a long ways, and it came down the road. Like I said, when people fight changes come, and you can see the other end of the hallway after they come. And then people say, we never would have made it if we hadn't did this. But I'm proud to say, like the Senate chairman said last week, I can see where when I leave this county, I'm leaving in good hands with these people's hands. I want to give them a big hand because they listen and they concerned about all the peoples in Elmo County. I don't care what walk of life. I'm going to stop right there. Let's give my fellow commissioner a big hand.
Well, I truly appreciate the words of both Commissioner Holt and Commissioner Reeves. I think that it is important that we each reflect on what we can do as individuals, whether it be as a commissioner in this seat or whether it be as a citizen in our community. I reflect on three specific areas that these two men have helped me in my role as the chairman of the county commission, but also in my role as a husband and as a father. And I think that the three things that come to mind for me are they both brought wisdom to me. In my at my stage in life, I'm oftentimes running from one place to another, chasing kids, chasing job, whatever it may be. And they both brought wisdom because I knew that if I spoke with them, they didn't chase, they didn't run around, they just delivered wisdom, and they delivered some guidance when needed. They also were great friends. I think that oftentimes, you're oftentimes friends with your peers, people that are your same age, people you grew up with, people in the same walk of life, people at the same stage in life. But that's not necessarily the case with us, but we're still great friends, and I value their friendship. And the last thing that I'll mention is compassion. I think that we often lose compassion when we consider where we're at in life. Unfortunately, in our society, for men, compassion sometimes is considered a weakness. I forget the Shakespearean play, but I think it goes something like, violence is not strength and compassion is not weakness. And we oftentimes lose sight of the value of compassion. And both of these men taught me compassion, because as they look at citizens or look at people in plight or struggles, they did not judge people. They did not look at them and say, well, they got themselves in that mess or something like that. But they look at people with compassion and love. And I think that comes with age and wisdom. And I'm grateful that I'm learning that lesson in life. And I'm grateful for these two men and their willingness to teach me those lessons. We'll now proceed with important calendar dates. Ms. Kim?
Next Tuesday, November 3rd, is the general election. The polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. The following Wednesday, November 11th, the courthouse will be closed in observance of Veterans Day. However, we will have the swearing-in ceremony and the organizational commission meeting beginning at 10 a.m. Monday, November 23rd at 5 p.m. will be our second meeting in November at 5 o'clock with the business meeting following. And then Wednesday, November 25th, beginning at noon through Friday, November 27th, the courthouse will be closed in observance of Thanksgiving.
Thank you. We'll reconvene shortly.
Lord God, we come thanking you for all that you've done for us and all that you will do and all that you're doing right now. Lord, bless us in a special manner. Give us the wisdom and knowledge and understanding. And Lord, keep us safe through these perilous and troubling times with this virus that was going on. Lord, we know with you we can overcome anything. So bless us in our heart and mind. And Lord, keep each and everyone safe. And let them know the trouble don't last always, that you are in the midst. The fight ain't ours by ourselves, but you are in the midst with us. And bless each one of the commissions, the staff, and all on the sound of my voice. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Ms. Kim, would you call roll?
Commissioner Daughtry.
Here.
Chairman Stubbs.
Here.
Commissioner Mercer.
Here.
Commissioner Holt. Commissioner Reeves.
All right, we'll proceed now with regular business. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the October 13, 2020 Commission meeting as amended during the work session?
Motion to approve.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Daughtry.
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs.
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer.
Yes.
Commissioner Holt. Commissioner Reeves.
Is there a motion to approve the memorandum of warrants for the period of October 3, 2020 through October 19, 2020?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Daughtry.
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs.
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer.
Yes.
Commissioner Holt.
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves.
Proceeding now to new business. Is there a motion to approve the Domestic Violence Awareness Month resolution?
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Daughtry.
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs.
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer.
Yes.
Commissioner Holt.
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves.
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve authorizing chairman to execute master MOU and land use agreement for the Fields at 17 Springs project?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Daughtry.
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs.
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer.
Yes.
Commissioner Holt.
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves.
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve setting a public hearing on Wednesday, November 11, 2020 at 10 a.m. for a 011 Lounge Retail Liquor Class II Package Alcohol License Application by SAI Path, Inc. for Lions Pride Spirit and Wine at 17049 U.S. Highway 231, Titus, Alabama 36080.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Daughtry.
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs.
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer.
Yes.
Commissioner Holt.
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves.
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve the consent docket as presented during the work session?
Motion approved.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Daughtry.
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs.
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer.
Yes.
Commissioner Holt.
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves.
Yes.
Personnel notifications. Notification of resignation of Joel Adam Graham, Chief Mapper, GIS Coordinator, effective 10/3/2020. Notification of termination of Camera Templin, Corrections Officer, effective 10/19/2020. Notification of retirement of Robert Moncrief, Captain, effective 10/30/2020. Notification of hire of Donnie Ruiz, Deputy, fill vacant slot, effective 10/24/2020. Notification of resignation of Ann Margaret Trost, Dispatch Supervisor, effective 10/30/2020. Any additional reports to the Commission? I would just like to remind everyone to participate in the election next Tuesday, a week from tomorrow, and if you're here, you're probably planning to do that, but I would encourage you to invite others to do the same. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn. Yes, sir.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Holt?
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves?
We are adjourned.